I don't know why Coach Payton isn't doing this lead-in. Is it too much to ask? Week 1, you're already doing a single. We're talking about your town here. Whether it's jazz or Mardi Gras, the people of New Orleans love nothing more than taking the familiar and turning it on its head, which brings us to Cooper Manning, who's already in mid-season form.
Was a little bit weird the way it played out. How's he handling the pressure?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kurt. Well, we all know this. Trey was going to have pressure whether Jimmy G was on the San Francisco sidelines or not. This Niners team is built to win now. It's a program with an NFC leading 7 players on that top 100 list. And now all faith rests in the hands of a 22-year-old quarterback with limited experience in college and the pros. But it's clear, and Jay mentioned it earlier, the entire building is behind Lance, and they're ready to call it the Trey area. Thank you both for their time, and I enjoyed sitting down talking to them. There was a very light vibe in that facility. I think now that they know where the chips have fallen. But Howie, if you're looking up across the other line and you know that this is a young kid that's only had 393 career passes between college and the pros, what are you thinking?
I think,
So the 49ers spent the summer reflecting, regrouping, and deciding the best way to move forward. And that decision was to put Trey Lance under center. I sat down with Coach Shanahan and Trey Lance to see how that decision is going. This just in, breaking news, the Cowboys won't be playing this year.
You said it first.
Coach, I mean, how about this group right here? Coach's Corner, Jimmy Johnson. They haven't got past that divisional round since 1995. Give a reason for Cowboys fans to still be optimistic, Coach.
Well, they still have the best offense in the league. You know, Dak Prescott, he's the best quarterback in the division.
You really think they have the best offense in the league?
Well, even though they've lost play.
Guys that are going to,
yeah. And then defensively, Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Hey, he's outstanding. You know that.
Yeah. Okay, turning our attention now to the Giants. New head coach in Brian Daboll, Daniel Jones. We know how much he struggled, 12-25 as a starter. He gets another new head coach with the departure of Joe Judge. Can Daboll help turn this thing around for this young kid who hasn't found success yet in New York?
Yeah, I think the main
question marks, and that's why we do this. You know, it's so much fun.
Yeah. Hey, and don't count out the Cowboys.
Never count out the Cowboys, you guys. Thank you, Coach. We will see you next hour. More of Aaron's interview with Aaron in the next hour. But, you know, Rodgers is confident as ever right there. And this is Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. But, Mike, how will this Packers offense look different in spite of, you know, his departure?
I don't think it'll look too as who's stepping into the fold, but I really think they'll focus on using Aaron Jones a lot more, coming out the backfield, more shorter passes, lure the defense in, and then go behind. So I go behind on the deep ball. So, you know, you just got to kind of work things in, but don't get too complacent.
But how weird is it when you, we knew their connection, right?
Yeah.
And when you're out there for that first time and he's not there as that safety valve or that guy that
when you have that true number one, you feel
play today. Jenkins coming back.
Yeah.
Lazard not there. And then also you look at the coaching staff, and Coach Payton can appreciate this, but
I go to yoga. And I'm zen, but then when all hell breaks loose, you don't know, and you need those weapons around you. So it's okay that he can be steady and fast, but who knows? I like the Vikings today. And by the way, is Darius Smith coming back? Danielle Hunter up front.
That's scary. Darius Smith.
Despite Green Bay's steady success as of late, this division, it is pretty open. And as the next war is about to be waged, we bring in the king of opinions on how it will all play out. Never a dull moment. The Khalil Mack thing, that fires me up fine.
Yeah,
don't mess with that dude right there. All right, so which team is going to handle the noise best? Charles, we will start with you.
Yeah, I think the Packers, your eyes, if you can handle that, I think you can handle anything. And I'm
an MVP, so we'll continue that conversation. Who is the most likely candidate here, even if it's, in your opinion, Aaron Rodgers?
I'm going to say Derek Carr.
Okay, Coach, what new head coach in his position will have make the biggest impact?
Well, there's 10 because he's with the Saints, and I think they're going to be the top team there in that division.
Ooh, that's your coach?
Triggs, you know the draft inside and out.
Yeah.
Which first-round pick lives up to the hype there?
First of all, Coach.
Got them Browns.
Thanks, Mike. That's it. Thanks, Mike.
You think always about a top 10 pick. I actually go to the end of the first round. There's a rookie defensive passer.
Okay, I love that. Well, some familiar, some familiar faces we'll see there in their shoes against a former team. Explain what that's like for either one of them as the season starts.
I mean, it's always hard hard when you got to play against your former team. He got to be ready to deal with that. But be the consummate pro. Stay humble. Play your game.
But he's not being a consummate pro. I mean, that's out of Cleveland and Miles Garrett. Those guys, they went out of their way to be cordial to him. Like, oh, we love Garrett.
And then we'll see Russell Wilson return to Seattle on Monday night with his new squad. How do you think that all goes down?
I'm curious to see how they receive championship, but I think the Broncos are going to be a team to reckon with.
Bro, stick and ball.
All right, so, Coach, I want you to put yourself in Pete Carroll's shoes right now. What's that pregame speech when your old quarterback's coming back? You know your team's in a rebuilding year.
Well, yeah.
Well, as you mentioned at the top of the show, isn't the old adage, if you've got two, you don't have one?
You don't have one.
Yeah. Now, I'd like to go back to something because you have a great deal with Nike, and I just heard that you gave Coach those shoes.
I gifted Coach those,
We have been your teammates for how many years? I've never got a pair of shoes from Michael.
No,
I feel
listen,
like Coach deserved it.
Oh,
I think
we
stepping
didn't.
into a new arena.
It goes back to the old Atlanta.
It's all downhill. We
Hey,
too. We still ain't got no gifts. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers talking. I could be his mother. I could.
Stop, see? Come on,
I could be his mother.
Acting like you old.
But look, the whole thing is he doesn't have the experience. But as Kyle Shanahan told me, that we went out and got him. So now we got to see what he's all about, and you can't keep him on the sideline for too long. They were one game away from, going to the Super Bowl with Jimmy.
Yep.
Does Trey get them over the hump, Mike?
I do think he can get them over the hump. Kyle Shanahan.
On the Cardinals. All the turmoil that they had this season, they had 4-hour gate. We know with the contract, DeAndre Hunter's team and the Rams.
Yeah, draft day was a bunch of flurry of action, but one thing that
Offseason, having that friend there is nice to kind of quiet the noise there as well. So the other team we haven't talked about, the Rams, of course, losing to the Bills on Thursday night. Coach, if you're Sean McVay, what is your biggest concern coming off that loss?
Well, look, they'll be into something better, but I think that's something they're going to have to deal with.
Well, we never have to deal with the guys next door. It is a privilege to welcome them in and check in on what's going on. There's a new studio over there, you guys. We're excited to see you. Happy week one.
Yeah, you know what? This is almost like a...
Super 6 is back, everybody. Terry has given away, look at me walking like this, what a weirdo. Given over $6.5 million in prizes and 80,000 winners in the U.S. alone. Scan the QR code to download the app and play for free. Pick 6 winners this week, and you could win $100,000. Around here, it's all season long. Schrager wins every year. We're hoping that changes with the arrival of Coach. So, you're up, Mike. Who's your team?
Hey, Coach said it's not a rivalry.
I'm taking the Niners by 10. I'm all in on them. America likes the Commanders. Download the app, play along. Enjoy week one, everybody. Coach, do we get you another week, or are you returning to the circuit?
Great first show, Coach.
I love it.
Hey.
We're lucky to have